You want to hear about the ATF's shocking lies about a toy gun that absolutely ruined a Navy sailor's life? Yeah, imagine buying a toy gun, a non-firing zinc alloy replica for $75 at a local gun show. Now imagine that purchase landing you a 20-year prison sentence because the ATF decided to lie under oath, tamper with evidence, and turn a toy into a so-called machine gun. And then they went after you for buying that toy rather than have issues with the company that makes it. Check this out. This isn't a conspiracy theory, y'all. This is absolutely real life, and it happened to former Navy sailor Patrick Tate Adamaic. And today, we're breaking down exactly how the ATF fabricated evidence to destroy this man's life. Before I dive into this shocking abuse of power, make sure you subscribe to the channel down below and hit the bell notification so that you never miss a story. I bring out the truth about the Second Amendment, the nonstop attack on it, on all our crazy gun laws and all the tyranny we're up against every single day. So subscribe to the channel if you want more information. A huge shout out to today's sponsor, Attorneys on Retainer, the legal defense team that actually fights for gun owners like you and me. AOR is not backed by an insurance company. They are a real law firm, so they don't have to follow the same restrictions and limitations as other insurance-backed companies. AOR will defend all types of criminal cases, so they won't deny coverage. And attorney-client privilege starts immediately because attorneys are answering the emergency phone number when members call. If you can reasonably and in good faith assert that you acted in self-defense or in defense of others, they'll cover you. Plus, if you join now, I can save you $50 off your individual sign-up fee or $25 off your family plan sign-up fee if you use my link, which is down below and in the pinned comment, and enter code GNG at checkout. Get serious about your self-defense. Get Attorneys on Retainer. Now back to this absolutely insane story about the ATF. Patrick Adamaic, a former sailor and gun enthusiast, was on his way to being a Navy SEAL. He bought a Denix Sten Mark II replica at a local gun show. These are sold everywhere online. They're still sold online. They cannot fire a round. They're made of cheap zinc alloy, and they have smooth barrels, meaning there's no rifling to stabilize a bullet. Why? Because they're a replica. They're not a real gun. But that didn't stop the ATF from targeting him. See, they raided his home. Why? Well, he was one of the top sellers of gun parts on Gunbroker, and we know how the ATF is with people doing lawful things. And when they raided his home, they seized his entire collection of legal gun parts. But their main focus was this toy replica of a Sten. And here's where it gets insane. The ATF's firearms enforcement officer, Jeffrey Bodell, did everything in his power to make this toy fire. He took a real Sten machine gun bolt from their national archive of all the NFA items, and he forced it into the toy. He then ripped out the fake barrel and replaced it with a real one. But here's the kicker. It didn't fit. Why? Because it's a freaking replica toy. So what did he do? He wrapped the barrel in some electrical tape and jammed it in there. Still, no magazine would fit, which means it couldn't feed any rounds. So what did the ATF agent named Bodell do? He manually loaded a single round into the chamber, pulled the trigger, declared it a machine gun. Well, machine gun. Do they fire one round? In an attempt to be totally accurate, here is what the ATF agent named Bodell wrote in his report. Exhibit 28 is a non-firing replica of a Sten Mark II machine gun manufactured by Denix in Spain. The exhibit is approximately 31 inches in overall length. Exhibit 28 has the physical appearance of a Sten machine gun and simulates a Sten machine gun's action. My examination revealed the receiver and magazine well of the exhibit is comprised of a homogeneous casting of zinc alloy. The simulated barrel is a hollow tube with no chamber and thin walls. The barrel assembly of the exhibit is simply press fit into the receiver. The bolt of the exhibit does not contain a firing pin or extractor. I field stripped the exhibit to examine its major components. The exhibit appears to be unmodified and in its original configuration. So we're going to try to screw this guy. While conducting research on Exhibit 28, I found several previous ATF correspondences which described evaluations and classifications of various non-firing machine gun replicas manufactured by Denix. However, I was unable to locate any documentation regarding prior ATF evaluation or classification of a Sten-type replica manufactured by Denix. I compared Exhibit 28 with a Sten machine gun from the National Firearms Collection. During this comparison, it was found that an unmodified Sten machine gun bolt from the NFC would fit into the receiver of Exhibit 28. The sear of Exhibit 28 retained the machine gun bolt and will release the bolt when the trigger is pulled. I removed the press-fit faux barrel assembly from the exhibit. I then utilized the Sten machine gun barrel from the NFC, wrapped with a few layers of electrical tape to make a tight fit, and press-fit the machine gun barrel into the front section of the exhibit by inserting the barrel into the rear of the receiver and pushing it forward. The electrical tape wrapped around the barrel centered the chamber and ensured a snug fit of the barrel. I reinstalled the machine gun bolt and reassembled the exhibit. I function tested Exhibit 28 with a Sten machine gun bolt and a Sten machine gun barrel installed, and the exhibit functioned as an open bolt firing weapon with a fixed firing pin. Due to the fashion in which I improvised the machine gun barrel to fit, a magazine cannot be inserted due to the barrel being too far aft. I test-fired Exhibit 28, assembled as described above, on June 8th of 2022 at the ATF test range in Martinsburg, West Virginia, using commercially available Federal brand 9mm Luger caliber ammunition. I pulled the bolt to the rear until it engaged the sear, inserted one cartridge into the chamber of the barrel, and pulled the trigger. The exhibit successfully expelled a projectile by the action of an explosive. The process of converting Exhibit 28 into a weapon which will expel a projectile by the action of an explosive was extremely simple. No specialized knowledge, tools, or machining were required to convert Exhibit 28. Only 3 items were utilized in the conversion process: a Sten machine gun barrel, which most people don't even have or can't even get, a Sten machine gun bolt, ditto, and electrical tape. The entire process took approximately 5 minutes. Exhibit 28 is a weapon, including a starter gun, which may readily be converted to expel a projectile by the action of an explosive. Therefore, Exhibit 28, as received, is a firearm as identified by the Gun Control Act. Exhibit 28 is a firearm and is a variant of a machine gun, to be excluded from a machine gun classification. ATF has long held that variants of machine guns must have critical blocking features which prohibit the use of unmodified machine gun parts and must not be readily able to be made or remade into a machine gun. Exhibit 28 does not contain blocking features preventing the installation of a Sten machine gun bolt. Simple modifications to Exhibit 28 utilizing a machine gun bolt would allow the exhibit to shoot automatically, more than one shot without manual reloading by a single function of the trigger. The Sten is blowback operated and fires from the open bolt position, with the bolt incorporating a fixed firing pin. These design features are not found in the typical sporting firearm, but rather are design features of machine guns. Wow. Tyranny much? Even a former ATF official reached out to Adamayic's defense team and called this entire case a fraud. He pointed out that the Denix Sten was never a firearm. It couldn't accept a magazine, which means it couldn't fire automatically. The bolt was plastic with no firing pin or extractor. And yet Bodell lied in his report, claiming it was extremely simple to convert it into a machine gun. But let's be real. If you can turn anything into a gun with electrical tape, then every pipe at Home Depot should be classified as a firearm. Because of this fraudulent ATF report, Patrick Adamayic, a man who has committed no crime, is now serving 20 years in a New Jersey federal prison. All because the ATF lied under oath, tampered with evidence, and used a rigged test to classify a frickin' toy as a machine gun. And here's the worst part. Every single item they seized from his home was legally purchased from reputable dealers. Not one was a machine gun. This should terrify every American gun owner. If the ATF can do this to a toy gun, then they can do it to anything. If we don't push back, if we don't expose this kind of a corruption, it's only going to get worse. So what can you do? Share the video. More patriots need to know the truth about what's going on in the ATF. Support Pro 2A organizations as well. There's links to several of them in the descriptions of all of my videos. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel so I can keep you up to date as we expose these abuses. Hit the like button and drop a comment down below. Do you think the ATF should be held accountable? Thank you for watching, and as always, I appreciate you. I really, really do, guys and gals. Stay informed, stay armed, and stay free. God bless America. Take care.